Hi, welcome to another session with the Suburban Shamaness. Laura Tria here. And today's topic is something that can be taught in this time of pandemic, and it's also something that can be used throughout the rest of your life. So sit back and relax, and let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. Right now, everyone is at the very least walking around in a heightened state of awareness, of concern for each other, of concern for themselves, of realizing what's important in life or what's a priority in their life. They're not reporting to their usual jobs, even if they are going to work, because their jobs are not what they used to be. Right now, the world is in an upheaval. Someone pulled the rug out. We have sadness going on right now. There are people dying. We have creativity going on right now. People are creating a way to enjoy their lives because things are not the way that they used to be, and we can't even be entertained the way that we used to be. So there's so much going on right now, and we are hypersensitive. So this hypersensitivity leaves some of us in a state of what's going to happen in the future? What is it going to look like? Are we going to remember to love one another? Are we going to remember the tragedy of the moment? Are we going to stay sensitive? Are we going to long to hug or kiss or shake hands or just be in a tight group again? What's it going to be like when we finally step back out in the world? It's going to be what we make it to be, and that's what I want to discuss. Everything shows up the way that we create it to be. So that might sound a little ethereal for some folk, but stay with me and try to understand this. Each one of us interprets life differently, you know? Two people can be in a room and one person will see the same exact thing that another person sees, but they will see it completely different. They'll react completely differently. Even within your own families, something happens and each family member describes it as something else. And you wonder, you know, was I there by myself? Weren't you there? Didn't you see what happened? But everybody really and truly sees differently. Everybody really and truly has their own consciousness and their own sense of reality and of what's going on. So just know that within yourself, you are receiving life the way that you perceive it. It doesn't mean that that's actually what's happening. It's the way we're perceiving it. So there's what is. The vase fell off the table and broke. So for some people, that's earth-shattering. Oh my God, that vase has been in the family forever, and now it's broken and I have to blame somebody, and it can turn into that kind of drama. It could be the vase broke and there's no replacement for it. It matched so well on that wall and now I don't have anything to replace it with. It could be the vase fell, I need to clean it up, and I hope the floor didn't get damaged with, I don't know, water that may have been in the vase. Or it could be a loud noise. The vase fell. Ugh, it broke the silence. I heard the shattering. I mean, I'm kind of making up the situation, but you see how that we can all see it so differently? Some people want to get back to the norm of what life was. And some people don't ever want that kind of norm to come back. I'm asking you to look at how you perceive life now, compare it to how you perceived it just a few months ago when everything was running the way we were used to. I want you to be conscious that you are perceiving life. You're the one who perceives life. You're the one who can, in this pandemic, you're the one who can be a mess filled with grief and fear and anticipating horrible things to come. Or you're the one that can be hopeful and think, what's next? What are we going to create for our future? And that's the key thing there. We create it. We create it. We can create scarcity. We can create abundance. It's all on how we perceive it. A friend of mine realized that, okay, she can't run out to the supermarket every day, but that she can grow onions and potatoes right there on her own. Actually, in her case, she's in an apartment, so in her case, in a Planters, she can feed herself without running to the supermarket whenever she needs something. I myself, because of this whole isolation thing, and I'm pretty much on my own anyway, but because it's dangerous to go out right now, dangerous in the sense that we could do harm to others or we could pick up the virus ourselves, I'm really realizing, what do I need and what do I want? There's a difference. Some things you need and some things you just want, you know? And so these are the kinds of things that when we get realistic about it, when we really look at it, we are creating our own realities. We could be the type that needs to spend money and get out there and get all the conveniences that are available to us, or we could be, I'm going to make life good just the way it is with what I've got. Either way, we create our own realities. So knowing that you create your own reality, are you tense? Are you calm? You're creating it. I've said before that this creature, this human creature, is a mind, body, spirit entity. We are a mind, body, spirit entity. We're three, there's many parts to us, but there's at least three parts to us. Our mind, the thinking mind, what do I do now? How do I write a letter? How do I speak? The thinking mind, the thing that researches, goes on Google, does what, that's the thinking mind. Communication, thinking mind. Then there is the body. When you are worried and you have anxiety, that is the body that tenses up. The organs tense up and go into alarm. That's our bodies that tense up. It's our bodies that are either exercising or laying around on the couch enjoying TV, or it's the body that we are that we're functioning in, this body. So the body and mind are connected, and that's the proof right there. The body and mind are connected. If you're worried, the body tenses up. If you're not worried, the body can relax. If the body's not taking care of itself, if you're eating all the wrong foods, then the mind gets affected after a while because you've got chemicals in your body that don't work. So mind and body are connected. I think you get that. I know that sounds pretty clear to me. And then there's the spirit. The spirit is what's going on behind the mind. The spirit is what's going on which controls the body. Your spirit is the essence of you. Your mind switches like this. Something dangles in front of it and you go from paying attention to one thing to paying attention to another. So the mind doesn't have control. The mind's all over the place. We have control to pull it back. We have control to say, I'm going to focus over here and stay over here now. The we I'm talking about, the essence of us, our spirituality, is what's in control. Our spirituality is what tells the mind which way to go and what to do. Our spirituality is what feels good when we finally are moving our bodies or exercising and we feel that stretch and it just feels so good. It's the spirit that gets to feel good. When we're finally laying down on the couch and we're watching TV or doing whatever, just relaxing, it's the spirit that feels that relaxation. Mind, body, spirit. All three interact with each other. We cannot separate them. It is the spirit, the thought behind the thought. It is the spirit, the feeling behind the feelings. That's your essence, your spirit. When you take care of your spirit, when you know that that's what controls life, when you realize the importance of your spirit, you're awake. When you realize, oh, I'm in control here. I'm in control of this. I can tell my mind what to focus on. I can tell my body what I want it to feel or not feel. That's when you're recognizing your spirit. Your spirit is what needs to be nurtured through meditation, through prayer, through having a landscape that's beautiful, and by a landscape I mean how you keep your home, how you look at the outside world. That is the essence behind the thinking mind and the body. That's what gets turned on when you hold an infant and you smell that infant and it just smells delicious. That's the spirit that gets filled with that new life. It's the spirit that gets filled when your cat comes up against you and starts to purr. It's your spirit that gets filled. It's connecting to another soul. The mind, the body, and the spirit are all interactive. And you control them all. So you control them. You have a choice. And I'm going to assist you. My job here right now is to assist you on realizing that you have a choice and that you are not alone in the world. So let's take care of the body as if it's separate from everything. Let's just take care of the body for a moment. And we've done this before, but this is in totality. We're going to do this. So yes, you have the choice. Know that the mind doesn't work on its own. Know that the body needs the mind to tell it what to do. The source, the spirit, some people might be more comfortable calling it the soul. I like to call it just the essence of me, the essence of you, the thing that's not so visually definable, the thing that we just know. The spirit is something that has been or can be suppressed so easily. And so we let the mind take control, and the mind can't take control because it's, again, there's so many different things that control the mind. It's crazy. We make such a big deal out of intelligence, and meanwhile it's something that we control and we don't even realize that. So I'm going to help you to get the mind, the body, and the spirit into alignment. And when you're in alignment with all three aspects of yourself, you can think more clearly. You can have peace in your being. You can live a more Zen life. You won't get thrown off so easily with life's tragedies and life's mundane and all the things that we get thrown off with. So let's first recognize mind, body, and spirit all work together. And how do we let the spirit take charge the way it was designed to do? How do I get my spirit to take charge? So many of you say you have anxiety. Many of you say you get caught up in your thought process. When you are caught up in your thought process, when the mind is out of control, when it's worrying and you can't get your mind off of its worry, when it's busy with the to-do list and the what-ifs and the should-haves and all the things that the mind does, your body gets thrown off by that. We get anxiety, we get tense, we get, our heart starts to beat fast because we're breathing short breaths, our mouth gets dry, we get hungry and we get the munchies, because the body is reacting to the way the mind is thinking. And unfortunately, we have suppressed our spirituality, our center, our soul, our essence. We've suppressed all that. So I'm going to show you how to take charge. First thing that you're going to do is to relax the body, because the body is so hyped up that you start getting anxiety, and before you know it, you're worrying about your anxiety and what that might mean, because your mouth is dry and your heart is beating and you're panicking. So let's take care of that first. Excuse me. Let's take care of that first. So I want you to take your hands, I want you to rub your hands together. Really rub. I don't know what this sounds like with the microphone, but really rub those hands together. And you want to cause friction and you want to cause heat. And then as soon as you feel you've caused it, take your hands and slowly separate them, and you can feel that tingle, that heat, that sensation. That is your energy, your life force, your body's energy. Okay? You called it to the surface, and so now there it is. You called it to the surface. Your hands should feel a little warm, a little tingly. The area of your body that gets anxiety, where you feel that fright, is around the heart area. It's around the chest area. Take your hands, the hands that just finished getting that tingle, that energy. Take your hands and place them on the center of your chest, on your throat, and allow your hands to relax your system. Allow your hands, your own energy, to touch. There is nothing more loving and soft and calming as the human touch. That's why so many of us, when we're tight, and somebody comes along and they put their hands on your shoulders, and you say, oh, just do that a little bit more, it feels so good. You can do that with yourself. Granted, you probably can't touch the small of your back, but you can at least touch the hypothalamus. That's the area that gets very tense when we're having anxiety. Right here, on your chest. So let your hands touch. Take a full breath. You will automatically, physically calm the chest down. Once you're able to enjoy your own touch, I know that I have the microphone on here, so I'm sorry about that. Once you have your own touch going, pull a little bit and open up the chest. Pull. Because you've tightened everything, so pull it apart. Right? And when you're pulling it apart, your shoulders are separating, the shoulder blades are contracting, right? So you're pulling apart and you're opening up the space that just got tight because your mind was worrying. Take your hands and notice right here those crevices that we get when we get older. So I'm going to call them my worry lines. These are the worry lines. This is where we receive life, right? So some people know that this is the third eye. This is where we intuit life. This is where we receive life. And some people just say, oh my God, right there, and they don't give it a name. Well, this is where we receive and hold a lot of tension. You know, we're all crumpled up when we're worrying. Some people, they crumple up their mouth. You know, that's where we get all these lines from. Take your hands when you're tight like that. Rub them together. Get that essence going. And put your hand on your forehead, right there. Right there. And allow a breath. Allow a breath. Allow a breath. And watch. It calms down. Everything calms down. Take your hands and put them on either side of your face. If it feels good, rock. Calm the body down. Your body is reacting to your mind. And being that for the moment, the mind is out of control, I'm telling you to take care of the body powerfully, lovingly, gently, firmly. Take care of your body. Did you ever just rock and hold yourself? Take care of your body and watch your mind calm down. Once the mind is a little bit more calm and you're not panicked severely, well, now we have to give the mind something to do, because the mind is always active. It has to consider something. It has to be figuring out something. It has to be doing something. In yoga, often it's called the monkey mind. Monkey mind. The mind's got to be thinking about something. It's got to be thinking about the laundry or the neighbor or whatever it's got to be thinking about. Remember, there's the thought behind the thought. There's the feeling behind the feeling. Your spirit, your essence. Direct your mind to listen to something different. Direct your mind where it has to go. One of the softest places for your mind to go, where it will calm down, is when it listens, when the mind focuses on the breath. Oh, well, you think that means I have to go, be a yogi someplace and I have to go, meditate up in a mountain and listen to my breath. No, 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 no. This is the suburban shamaness. I'm going to show you how to do this in suburbia while you're doing life, or in the city, or wherever else you are. We want to give the mind a place to focus, a place to be entertained that is not on the outside of us. That's why we want to listen to the breath. We don't want to be entertained by TV. We don't want to be entertained by a to-do list. We don't even want to be entertained by music and dancing and That's all activity on the outside. That's all great stuff. I love it. But right now we want the mind to center and relax itself. So take your beautiful hands and put them over your ears like this. And while your hands are over your ears, you're noticing that the sound is louder, right? I want you to exaggerate your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Do it again. Listen to your breath. Inhale. Exhale. When you exaggerate your breath and you're listening to it, the mind is almost in awe. What's that sound? Oh, well, that's your breath. And being that we don't listen to our breath often, the mind is like, wow, this is cool. And for 30 seconds, only 30 seconds, that's all this takes. You can do 30 seconds. Let the mind pay attention to it, to itself, to breath. Let your mind pay attention to you. 30 seconds. I guarantee you, your body is relaxed. I guarantee you, your mind is not all over the place. I guarantee you that in 30 seconds, you will calm down and not have to rush for a drink or a pill or the emergency room or whatever else it is that we rush for, or a bag of chips or potato or chocolates. Or I promise you that in the height of anxiety, in the height of anger, in the height of frustration, in the height of all that stuff that makes us do things we don't want to do, 30 seconds to catch your own breath and listen to it. Give your mind something to do. Remember, the mind is just this thing. It's just this out-of-control machine. It's the thought behind the thought that can control the essence of you, that can control that mind. Just like you are in charge of your hands, your feet, your body when it moves, if you're not physically ill, you are in control. The you I'm talking about is the you behind the mind. So control that brain. Give it something to do. Let it focus on your breath. 30 seconds, and you will calm down. Once you're calm, recognize yourself. That is your spirit. That is your essence. It can only show up when you calm everything else down. Calm body, calm mind. When you are calm, you remember who you want to be in the world. When you are calm, you won't do hurt to another. You won't scream and you won't damage somebody. When you're calm, when you relax, then you can remember who you are. You can remember who you love. So many of us get in arguments with people that we love. And we say things that we don't mean to say, or we get angry and we get physical. We do so many things because we're like this, we're caught up and we're letting the mind and the body take over. And we're in a pandemic now and everybody's really concerned about everybody else. And this is what I want you to remember when this is all over. Calm down. Remember who you are. Remember that you truly do love that person you'd like to hit in the head. Remember that the person you feel like telling off or not speaking to at all, remember that you love them. Calm down. Give your mind something to do. We live in a world where we have been so entertained by media, by books even, by government, by money. We are so entertained that we forgot how to look within. And there's a lot of us in this quarantine time, this stillness time, that are being forced to look within. We're calmer. You can find this calm even after the pandemic. I would like the whole world to find this calm even after the pandemic, so that maybe this world can slow down. Maybe we can stop being so excessive and robbing from the earth things that we don't need instead just stuff that we want. Maybe we can slow down and we can have more value of ourself instead of value of the dollar. Maybe we can have enough so that we don't feel so desperate to go out and get more. It's a crazy time we're living in right now. And part of me hopes that it doesn't go away too fast. 9/11 came, and we loved each other after 9/11. Oh my God, we loved each other. I remember commercials on TV after 9/11, and the commercial would be people showing up, and they would be a different color face, a different height, a different body, a different gender. There would be all kinds of people showing up, a variety of people on the lens, on the TV, and then they would say, which one of these is an American? And of course, there's no answer for that because American is such a melting pot. There's just so many styles of human beings. And we were so in love with each other after 9/11. There were no barriers. No, well, there was barriers against the Muslims. Now there's other barriers that we're building, but for the most part, there was no barriers. And then we got back to our regular selves. Took a few months, and before you know it, everybody was prejudiced against and being selfish again and, not caring about anybody but themselves. So I'm asking you this time to remember how to breathe. Remember how to slow that body down. Remember your essence. And when you remember your essence, you remember love. And when you remember love, and when you remember compassion, and when you remember yourself, when you remember yourself, there's peace on earth. I hope that's what you got out of this conversation. I'd love to hear from you. Please write me a note, a comment below. Like the page if you want to like the page. And I'm going to keep this conversation going because it feels right to do so. Anybody who wants to get in touch with me, be my guest. All the information is below. So for now, this is the Suburban Shamaness, Laura Tria, signing off and really thanking you for showing up today. Bye.